Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have our next guest here joining us, Kelly Frey, joining us from Paris, Tennessee. Excited to talk to her today about all the work she does and how she's helping so many with restoration. You know, in the meantime, she offers lip, eyeliner, eyebrow tattooing. Also, we're talking areola restoration, scar camouflage. She does a lot, and she's also a trainer, and she's here to talk to us today about the work she does. Welcome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Pleasure to get to talk to you here today. I'm assuming it's probably chilly in Tennessee as well, just like New York.
The temperature has dropped drastically in the last few days.
It sure has. I know it was 19 degrees this morning, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's happening. Beautifully Created Ink. CO, correct? The name of the company, and how do we reach you?
You can reach me on my website, beautifullycreatedinkcompany.com. And you can also call me. I always put my number out there. It's 731-336-3447. So I would be glad to take texts, calls, whatever.
Beautiful. So we're talking about cosmetic and paramedical tattoo services, and we're going to talk today about the work you're doing, the clients you're helping, read some amazing reviews, and get to know each other. And I think it's important, if we don't mind starting off by you just telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I got into the beauty industry about 26 years ago. I started out as a cosmetologist, and then I got into the paramedical tattooing and the permanent makeup in 2018. I love what I do, but I wanted to add something a little different. And then from there, I started doing the training. I loved it so much. I started training people to do it also. That's how I got started. And I've been doing it for a long time.
Was it true your mom was or is a cosmetologist? I read something about as a young child, right? She was the one you looked up to?
It was my best friend, and she lived there. I went to her house a lot. I was in and out all the time, and she was a big part in my life. So, yes.
Beautiful. And let me ask, over the years, obviously, you started out doing cosmetology. So was that like hair and makeup type stuff?
That was hair, makeup, nails, facials, all of the things.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right. Well, you mentioned you didn't really have a mentor growing up, right? But how did you get started and learn even about, tattooing and all the work that you could do in this field?
Well, like I said, I wanted to add something. Because, when you're doing something for a long time, even though you still love it, you kind of want to do something. I always love to learn. I love to add new things to my business. So I saw that one day and I thought, oh, that's very interesting. And I just started really researching and went looking into schools and things like that. And here I am.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Well, we're excited that you're here, and we're going to talk a little bit about, the work that you do. And I know you've been in the field, you said, for over 26 years. My goodness. And a lot of people, like, wow, how did you do this? Being an entrepreneur, any advice you would give to them on the work that's required?
Well, the thing is, never be afraid to try something new.
Okay.
I'm never afraid to try something new. And if it doesn't work out, try something different. Always be willing to get outside of your comfort zone. And it's always been worth it to me. Hard work and putting yourself out there is always worth it.
Beautiful. And just to point out, you are licensed and insured, correct, as a cosmetic and medical tattoo artist. Now, you specialize, I read, in areola restoration. Could you share a little bit about what that involves and entails and the types of people coming to you and how sensitive that is to someone who's going through so much?
Yes. So these women, a lot of the women that I deal with are breast cancer survivors. So they have been through so much anyway. And by the time they just need that last little part to make them feel whole again. And it's so wonderful. That's actually my favorite thing to do because you get to know the women. They're very vulnerable and you get to speak to them about different things. They share their heart with you. And when you're finished, you just give them that last little piece that makes them feel whole again, that makes them feel feminine again. Because, women lose so much during breast cancer.
Oh my goodness. I could only imagine. I lost my mom to cancer, not breast, but still it's a hard thing. And to help people feel better, look better, something like areola restoration, how many sessions does somebody usually need? How long does that take?
Usually just two. A lot of times what I have them come in and, of course, we choose their color and I talk to them about kind of what their native breasts look like and all of that. If they wanted something different, if they want something like they had before. So we talk about all of those things. And then we actually do the procedure. They go home 7 days. I have them wear a Tegaderm and they send me a picture. And then we see if we need to do any touch-ups or anything like that. But most of the time, the only touch-ups you have to do is where the scar is, because sometimes the skin where the scar is doesn't take the ink as well. But most of the time, 2 is all you have to have. Amazing. And then you get every 7 to 10 years, just depending.
Beautiful. And let me ask you how, the other aspect of tattooing. So areolas, what other parts of the body are we getting tattooed?
So I do permanent makeup, which is the face, eyebrows, lips, and then I do the areola. Now, the scar camouflage, wherever you have a scar, women that have, or men that have had a knee replacement, they may have those, they do better now, but a lot of people have those big scars on their knees, surgical scars from self-mutilation that people may be about, just anything like that, facelift scars. I can help with any of those.
Amazing. Well, let's talk about the face. Let's talk about eyebrows, the trend in eyebrows. And it gets confusing to me, and I think a lot of people out there, because you go so many places and you hear the term, is it microblading? But then you hear permanent tattooing. Share the difference of these techniques, what you do, what's different about it. And, everyone has their opinion on what's best. And it's confusing out there in the market to say, hi, how do you get your eyebrows done? But what do we do?
Definitely. And most of the time people will call me and say, hey, I want to get my eyebrows microblading, because they don't know. So what I do, I have people come in. Microblading is only good for certain skin types. And most of the time that's a very young skin type, thicker skin, that kind of. So if someone comes in and they're more mature skin, we just look and see how much brow they have left. Yeah. We can do light shaded brow, which is just a machine shading.
Okay.
It's a hand tool that you use, and you actually go in and make hair strokes, that's the art of it. You come in and draw that in. And then there's also nano brows, which is kind of the same thing, but it's a needle that you make those eyebrows with. And that can be done. Microblading can only be done on certain skin types. Nano, any skin type. Shading can be done on any skin type as long as the skin is healthy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And how does it work as far as I have mine all tweezed up, because that's what I did 20 something years ago. I'm 46. So now it's I don't grow it back here, right? But I'm so scared to make that adjustment. Can you, as a permanent tattoo artist, help people do just a little bit at a time? Because people might get scared of that change right away. But now the latest and greatest, I see all these beautiful brows on these girls. They're so thick and they're so, right? I mean, things have changed, right?
Definitely. So everybody's nervous when they first start, which is, you're tattooing your face.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna. So I am a natural brow artist. So if I have someone that comes in and they want these big bushy eyebrows and it's not conducive to what their face shape is, I'll just tell them, I'm not your artist. I always say less is more. I always have people come back for a second appointment. We do a little bit at the first appointment, add some hair strokes, a little bit of shading. And then when you come back, you get used to seeing yourself with a little bit fuller brow. And then we can always add. You can't take away, but you can add too. So that's how I do it. Some artists do it differently, but that's how I prefer to do it.
I like it too, because some people might come to you though and say, I want these eyebrows, and show you a book and show you these eyebrows. And you might just say, hey, that's not really working for your face. And you will give your honest opinion. I like that. And that's important, because I also think people should get second, third opinions, right? Because you want to make sure you have the artist that's fit for you. And I like that. Little is more, and you can always come back. That's good to know. Do you also do under the eye tattooing or on top of the eyelid? Is that something you all do?
Yes, we do eyeliner tattooing. So a lot of people do just top eyeliner, but some people like the also. So yes, you can do both.
Is it
Definitely.
painful? Is it, I mean, what is it? I mean, I'm trying to think what it feels like, but it's going to be painful a little bit, but I'm sure you have like an anesthetic walk me through the process. Cause someone out there might say, I love it, but I'm scared.
So I use two different numbings. You come in and I will numb with a primary numbing for about 20 minutes. And then I go in and I do a first pass, and then I put a secondary numbing after we have opened up the skin. We put a secondary numbing in. Most of the time after that, you feel little to nothing after that secondary numbing. The first one, you may feel a little bit. Some people feel nothing. Some people feel a little bit more than others. When I had mine done personally, it felt just a little bit of a pinch every once in a while, but nothing that I couldn't stand.
Got it. All right. What else on the face are we working with? What other things do you do to make someone look more beautiful?
Lips. So lip blushing. I like the blushing better than I like the lipstick look. It's just a personal preference, but I do both. Now you can go in and do a lip liner and then go in and do an actual, full shaded lip. But I like the lip blushing just to give you a little bit of a more natural look. My dad always told me, he said, makeup is not to paint your face. It's to enhance your natural beauty. So that's kind of my motto.
Well, I never heard of that term until today, lip blushing compared to lip lining.
But compared to the lipstick look, you would go in there and do
I remember the lip liner years ago. We would lip line. It was like a thick line. And I know people who actually have their lips like that.
Yes.
Not so pleasant.
But some people like it. And I think the more mature audience likes that look a little bit better. The younger audience likes more of the lip blushing.
And is it permanent? Or is it does it go away after a while? Explain, what permanent means.
Yeah. So I always say areola tattooing, scar camouflage, those things are using an ink. So they're more permanent. When you are doing makeup, when you're doing eyeliner, brows, and lips, we're using a pigment, and that is meant to fade away over time. And that's what you want, because you want to be able to touch it up. The difference in ink and pigment is meant to fade away. And if you do ink on the face, it stays exactly the same, except for it changes color over time, because your face is always seeing the sun, and the sun fades everything. So pigment is meant to fade away. And then the lips, you were asking about that. The lips, actually, they slough off naturally. They're wet more. So the lip liner and the lipstick stuff and the lip blushing, they last a little less time. So probably, I would say 18 months to 2 years, you have to get that retouched up.
Okay, good to know. And what about, the bad side, the downside? What are some of the effects we need to know and warn everyone what can happen, right? Because some people think about safety. They think about what are some things? Are people allergic to it sometimes? What should we be cautious of?
Yes. So I always have people come in and I have them fill out paperwork. And just like a doctor's office, it tells you the worst case scenario that could happen. Knock on wood, I've never had that happen, but you could be allergic to the numbing creams. You could be allergic to the pigments. So, and of course, you always ask your patients, are you allergic to latex? Because if you use latex gloves, which I don't, but they could be allergic to that. And the thing is, when you do pigments and you do the tattoo, an allergic reaction can show up. You can develop an allergy anytime in your life. So that could show up 2 years down the road. So, yeah.
And
that's
if someone's interested, though, is it reversible? Can you tattoo to remove the tattoo? If there's
yes.
You can.
You can. So you can do saline removal or lightning, or you can do laser removal.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Sessions. But if your permanent makeup's done correctly, it should come off, usually 2 to 5 years, it's going to be totally gone anyway.
All right. That's good to know. Now, let's remind everyone at this time how we can contact you. Would you mind sharing your social media pages, your phone number, or website again? Thank you so much.
Sure. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And it's Beautifully Created Ink Company. And my website is www.beautifullycreatedinkcompany.com. And I have before and after pictures on my website and all of that if you want to go and look. And it has about my training.
Well, that's what I'm doing, because as we're talking, you're in the corner. I'm like peeking around your website and looking and like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. Yeah, that's important. And you know what? Let me hear, if you don't mind, could you, or I should just tell you, there's some amazing, testimonials on the website. Can I share one or two? Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. And don't forget, guys, go and follow her, beautifullycreatedinc.co.com. So as we scroll on down there are Google and Yelp reviews. It looks like Miss Kelly is an amazing instructor. I enrolled in the permanent makeup course this past month. I learned so much, and she was so patient. I'm looking forward to continue to practice all my skills and taking in all the advice by Miss Kelly. I had a great experience. Kelly Frey's a doll. She's knowledgeable, friendly, awesome first visit. Will return soon for eye tattoos. Kelly's the best. She listened. This is somebody else. Munch and Crunch is just their handle. I left with exactly what was right for me. I love her, and when you leave, you will know this isn't a job for her. It's her passion. Leanne says she had lip blushing done, was so happy with the results, and that you were very, very conscious about the numbing cream and kept me pain free. I love hearing these great reviews, and would you mind, sharing a story or two of some of the people you've worked on and what they are saying and how it's changed their lives?
Yes. So I remember the first lady that I did areola tattooing on. Of course, like I said, she had been through so much. She ended up sharing her whole story with me about her life, about her children, about her experience and all of that. And then when we were finished, she looked and she said, oh my gosh, she had tears in her eyes. And she said, this looks so real. She said, I even got some tattoos off of Amazon and put them on. And she said, these look so much more real than that. She's like, thank you so much. This makes me feel whole again. I didn't ever think that I could look like this. So that was one of the ones that stick with me. Lots of brow stories, ladies that come in that are just nervous wreck. And we talk a lot beforehand, and I try to make them feel more comfortable. And then when this particular lady, she was finished, and she said, oh my gosh, I was so scared when I came in, and I was so nervous, but I love them. They're so great. And so just, I could go on and on about my clients and how wonderful they are. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And what about, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about, you mentioned scar camouflage, right? And I saw some of those pictures on your website. For those ladies with like, stretch marks and stuff, that could actually help?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Wow.
I actually did this on myself. Just when I first started, I did a lot on myself just to make sure that things work. But with the stretch marks, it doesn't totally get rid of them, but it makes them a lot smaller. It makes them, if they're a little deeper, it makes them a little less noticeable and more shallow. If they're a different color, it can color back in there. So yeah, we can do a whole lot.
Great. And one thing you didn't mention was amazing for men and women for the hair. I saw that on the website too. That is, what is it called? You put the pigment. What is that called for someone with thinning hair?
That is, the ones that you see on my website are actually micro needling with Process. I do that also. But it actually helps to promote the regrowth of the hair. As long as the hair follicle is not dead, you can make those hair follicles come back to life and start growing hair back.
Got it. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for sharing that, because that's pretty fascinating. A lot of people are too scared to do like the toupees, the LED helmets aren't working. Like what else, that's like awesome that you want to just fix up your head like that. Even as a female, could you give us more of like a front line?
Well, if the hair doesn't grow there naturally, no, we couldn't make it come forward. But yeah.
But it looks a lot better. Oh my goodness. Well, you also are a teacher as well. So you're training people how to do that too, correct?
So I teach permanent makeup, and if you're a brand artist, I do 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 classes. I don't take any more than that for someone that's brand new, because you need that 1-on-1 time. And I'm all about quality, not quantity. So I want to turn out the best artists that I possibly can. I want to spend that time with them. If they need extra help on something, I don't want to have 5 or 6 people in there taking my time. I want to be able to focus on that person. So yeah, that's what I do for permanent makeup. when I do the areola classes, those are what I call a master class. So that's someone that has already been in the industry. They already know the needles. They know the how to use them, the configurations, and I'm just teaching them a new skill. So I will do 3 or 4 people at a time with that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Good to know. Well, what else do you want to share with us about the work you're doing? And, I just love, I can mention this if you don't mind. As a female, it's like we want to look better, feel better. And sometimes men, even though they get this and don't understand that. And so I think for a holiday gift, these are the things that we want, enough jewelry, enough clothes, shoes. We don't need that. We want to feel really good about ourselves. And sometimes that's, when it comes to, cosmetology, these are the things that we, can do and want to do. So I'm going to offer up the gift of giving like a gift card or something like this with you. Do you offer gift cards?
Yes, it's so funny you say that. Last night, my daughter called me and her father-in-law wants to get his wife a gift. But he wants it to be a surprise, but he doesn't know what she wants. He says, I think she wants brows, but it might be lips. So I told him, I said, just give her, I'll give you a gift card. You write a note on there that I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay for this for you, whatever you want. And so we did that for him. So yeah, men a lot of times are very clueless. So we can just do a dollar amount. We can do, just give you a gift certificate. You can write whatever on there and then have your wife contact me.
Perfect. I love hearing that. And by the way, tell us your address, where you're located. Where do you do this, or is it at your home? You don't want to give out your address, just the town. I understand.
I actually own a beauty salon also, and it's called Colon, and it's in Paris, Tennessee. And then I do my Beautifully Created Ink Company in there also. But it's 205 North Brewer Street, Paris, Tennessee, 38242.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right. But we still have just 3 minutes left in the show. I don't want to cut you short. And again, being this our first show, it's been, a pleasure getting to know you and to talk about, the work you're doing. Now, for people out there who are interested, obviously, to reach out to you, you offer up a quote. Let me see where it is. It's in the notes. Oh, you mentioned, to whom much is given, much is required, right? Is that Luke 12:48?
Yes, that is. That has always stuck with me. Mm-hmm. And I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So, that's something when you are given talents and you're giving whatever it might be. If it's money, if it's time, if it's talents, we are required to share that with others. And that's my motto. And that's how I've always lived my life. And I want to continue doing that. So I wanted to say also once a month, I do give a free areola tattooing to a woman that has survived breast cancer. Aww. So that's also, if someone's listening and they know someone or they're that person, reach out to me. And I do that for free once a month.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is wonderful. And wow, that is so generous of you. And in closing today, how did you want to leave off for your listeners about the services you provide and how you're helping people like this?
Yeah, I'm just so thankful and overwhelmed of how much the business has grown, how many people I've been able to reach and talk to. And I just want anyone that's listening, if I can help you in any way, reach out to me. I would love to get to know you. I love to talk to my clients and really get to know them, not just be a number or a dollar, like for it to be a conversation with that person and for them to be very comfortable with me before we do anything.
Absolutely. And always talk about the expectations. And of course, I love that you're open and honest with someone. And again, have your idea of what you want, but sometimes maybe it's not the best thing. And I just love that you're honest with so many people about that. And by the way, are you teaching clients like in person? Do you have any mentors or interns that work under you, or are you actually teaching these skills at a school? When you mentioned you are also doing classes
in my salon, it's a classroom. So I have them come there and we do it in person. They come in. I talk to them first. They come in. It's a class, and then in Tennessee, you have to be an apprentice for a year. So I have actually 2 apprentices under me right now, and they come in. I give them my schedule. They shadow me. And then when they're ready, they bring their clients in and I watch them until they're ready to actually go out on their own.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us. Kelly Frey, Beautifully Created Ink Co. And the website again, beautifullycreatedinkco.com. And Google her. Check out her social media pages under the same handle as well. And thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time. And, here's to the holiday season of looking good and feeling good, and you giving back that that feeling of self-confidence to so many people, especially those with the areola restoration who underwent cancer. God bless. And to everyone else who wants to look better and feel better with the permanent makeup on their face. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you, Jill, for making me feel so comfortable. I was very nervous.
Really? You were nervous? Really? No. You did great. You look awesome and you sound awesome. And I'm glad I helped you change your name instead of iPhone 31. Thank you so much, Kelly. Pleasure having you on the show. And hopefully we'll connect again soon, okay? If not, enjoy your holidays. Either way, enjoy the holidays. I hope to see you soon.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.